everyone knows that the best way to cure a mental breakdown is to dye your hair. So that's what I'm doing today. Now, I don't typically sit on my bathroom floor to dye my hair, but I can't really stand up long enough to do it. So we're just gonna go with this. You don't need to worry about the back that much. I can't see the back of my head. That means what happens back there is just really none of my business. If I can't see it, it doesn't matter. I think it's becoming such a regular thing in my videos that I never stand up. So maybe that's just gonna be my thing. Like, no matter what I'm doing or what I'm filming, it's just gonna be 99% me sitting down. And then at some point, people are gonna start watching my videos and they're gonna put two and two together and be like, why do you never stand up? Kind of chit chat and do a little like health update because I feel like I've been really sporadic about actually explaining what's going on because I mean I don't know how to vlog. I'm figuring it out. But anyway, so I talked to my doctor after the last CT scan. I think in the last video that I had posted I was going over the results myself and just kind of reading off what it was. But my doctor did review it, and his response was, there's nothing acute in your CT scan that would be causing pain, so just let us know if anything gets worse. And I about flew off the handle because here's another doctor, and I was really mad. Like, I've been seeing this doctor for years. He's always taken me very seriously. He's always referred me to the right specialist. He's always provided good care. But now here's yet another doctor looking at me and going, there's nothing wrong with you, so just deal with it. So I sent back a message in the patient portal, because that's where he had put those comments, and basically just said, well, could it be these degenerative changes in my spine causing pain? And then sure enough, a day or two later, I get a call from the office and the little girl on the phone, I don't know if she was a nurse or, you know, some kind of admin, but she said, hey, your doctor wants to send you to a spine specialist, an ortho, because those degenerative changes in your back could be the source of your pain. And I had to almost physically hold my mouth shut to not be like, oh really? And where did he get that idea from? But so what was noted on the CT scan was spondylolysis, finally figured out how to say it, facet arthropathy, and foraminal narrowing. So the spondylolysis, also called pars defect, is the stress fracture. And from what I understand of that in and of itself may or may not cause pain. Some people have pain, some people don't. So treatment is based around severity of symptoms. Makes sense, right? Well, the facet arthropathy, facet joint syndrome is, I'm not 100% certain because that one, I'm not 100% certain what that one is exactly, but I know it's arthritis-like, I think is how it's described. But so that's another one where some people have pain and some people don't. And generally, that's something that happens with old age. And then you've got the foraminal narrowing, which again, another really big word that I had to spend a lot of time Googling to figure out what it meant. But basically that one is where the little space, the little canal where your spinal nerve comes out kind of to the side, not straight down, but kind of to the side, that space is narrowed. And so it can pinch the nerve. It can put pressure on the nerve. And again, that's another one where some people have pain and some people don't. It just depends on the severity. So with all three of those combined, that's where my pain is coming from. And it's one of those things where each individual condition has certain things that make it better and certain things that make it worse. Like for the foraminal narrowing, which I think is also called stenosis, for that one, usually bending forward. Because when you bend forward, that opens up that space, takes pressure off the nerve. And that one also, usually people feel better when they sit down as opposed to standing up, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So my symptoms are kind of all over the place. So sometimes it feels better to sit, sometimes it feels better to stand up, sometimes it feels better to stand up and bend over at the waist, or even like hunchback. I find myself walking like really hunchbacked a lot now. But anyway, so all these conditions combined are what's causing all the pain. Looking back at my medical records, I kind of pieced the story together. So the spondylolysis was first noted on a CT scan in 2021. And that was a couple of months after I had gone to the emergency room with all this pain, thinking I had a kidney stone, but I didn't have a kidney stone. So I think that is when the pars defect initially happened. But they didn't find it because it was small and whatever. They didn't find it at the time. Fast forward a couple months, I have another CT scan. They do find it. They note it on the CT report, but nobody tells me. And so now here we are 3 years later, and I've been living with the pars defect without any treatment, any guidance whatsoever. And that has accelerated degeneration in my spine. So all of that to say that the next step is for me to go see an orthopedist. My doctor put in the referral and they called me yesterday to make the appointment. So that appointment is set for next week. And I had to go around to my doctor's offices and get copies of images on an x-ray. Get copies of images on a CD. Because the orthopedist wants to look at the images themselves instead of just reading the report. And when I get the CD, I'm going to try to back them up on my computer or make a copy of the CDs if I can. Because I just feel like something tells me that I need a copy of those, just for my own records. So I will have all of the images to take to the orthopedist so they can actually look at them and make their determination about how severe it is and what's going on. In the meantime, I've been out of work for almost a month now, and I ran through all of my PTO while I'm figuring out how severe this is, whether I'm going to be out of work long term enough to do short-term disability. Of course, I'm not getting paid. So that's stressful to not have any money coming in. I did consider making a GoFundMe to see if I could get a little bit of support, but I'm still on the fence about that because I have a hard enough time mustering up the confidence to ask for money for the nonprofit and then to turn around and be like, oh, also, can somebody please help me with my bills? It's just, I don't like doing it. I know my mom will help if I ask, but again, I don't like asking. She's helped me with bills a lot over the years, and it's frustrating to constantly be in a situation where I can't really provide for myself. So I guess the status of my health is, I don't freaking know. I've got another week before I see the orthopedist, and they're the ones that are going to really determine how bad everything is. At this point, I was too tired to keep talking and doing my hair at the same time, so all I did was finish putting the color in and then let it sit and process for about an hour. And then I rinsed it out, washed my hair like normal, and this is what it looks like wet, just out of the shower. And here's the final product. How does the back look? Y'all let me know.